They say there's an island in the North Atlantic that lives between worlds, a place sailors swore they saw but could never reach. On some maps, it's drawn in faint ink. Hy-Brasil, they called it. A perfect circle of green land surrounded by mist. Every few years, ships reported seeing it rise from the fog, glowing in the morning light, only to fade before nightfall, as if the sea itself swallowed it back. In 1872, a crew claimed to have landed there. They described stone ruins, ancient carvings, and voices whispering through the wind. When they returned to the same spot weeks later, nothing, just water. Scientists called it a mirage. Historians called it a myth. But the coordinates match a real anomaly, something vast lying beneath the ocean floor. And maybe, just maybe, the island isn't gone. Maybe it's waiting for the right moment to return. The North Atlantic has always been a place of silence and secrets. A sea where compasses twist, fog never truly lifts, and history itself feels alive beneath the waves. For centuries, sailors spoke of a land that appeared only to the chosen, an island hidden in the mist, shimmering like glass just beyond the horizon. The earliest records come from 1325, when a Genoese cartographer marked a strange circle west of Ireland. He named it Brasil, the Island of Light. By the 15th century, it was appearing on nearly every European map. Not as legend, but as fact. Even the greatest explorers, from John Cabot to St. Brendan's followers, swore they saw it. A perfect shape, too symmetrical to be a trick of the eyes. And yet, no one ever set foot upon it. Sailors told stories of ships sailing toward it, watching the coastline form before them. Green hills, rivers, even the sound of birds. And then, within moments, the horizon collapsing back into the fog. Some said it was a mirage, the light bending across the water. Others whispered it was a doorway, a thin veil between our world and something older, something watching. In 1498, the Portuguese explorer Pedro de Ayala wrote in his diary, "I saw land rise before the storm, bright as emerald, still as death. When the sun broke, it was gone. Only the waves remained." That was enough to make kings listen. By the 1500s, fleets were sent west in search of Hy-Brasil. None ever found it. Some never returned. Yet, every few decades, someone would see it again. In 1674, Captain John Nisbet claimed his crew actually landed there. They found stone towers, ancient streets, and what he described as a city drowned in silence. An old man appeared, warning them to leave before the fog swallowed the island again. When they turned to look back, it was gone. And then, for nearly 200 years, nothing. The island faded from maps, erased by reason. But the ocean never forgets its myths. In 1872, a British ship, the Resolute, reported strange lights, flickering beneath the fog at the same coordinates where Hy-Brasil once stood. Not stars, not lanterns, something beneath the water, glowing red, pulsing as if alive. The captain noted, it felt like the sea was breathing. They turned away before dawn. The logs were sealed. Maybe it was just a story. Or maybe the island was never made of earth and stone, but of something the ocean itself creates and destroys. For a long time, Hy-Brasil became nothing more than a sailor's tale, a ghost marked on forgotten maps. But in the 20th century, something strange began to happen. As technology evolved, so did the evidence. In 1957, a Royal Air Force crew on patrol between Ireland and Iceland reported an unknown landmass emerging from the mist. Their instruments went wild, compasses spinning, radios turning silent. By the time they circled back, it had vanished. The coordinates? almost exactly where Hy-Brasil had been drawn 500 years earlier. Then came 1980. A group of American scientists studying oceanic anomalies picked up something extraordinary, a structure deep below the North Atlantic ridge. It wasn't natural. It was symmetrical. Smooth walls, long corridors, like the remains of a sunken city, half buried beneath volcanic rock. When they published the findings, their funding was quietly cut off. The data disappeared, and so did most of the research team. But the most chilling evidence came in 1989. Off the coast of Ireland, a fisherman named Shane O'Neill found an old piece of glassy black stone, shaped like a tablet, etched with patterns that no expert could identify. Weeks later, he disappeared at sea. His boat was found adrift, empty, the tablet missing, and yet people still see it. In 2016, satellite sensors briefly recorded a dark landmass rising through the clouds, west of Galway, visible for 6 minutes before fading into the Atlantic. NASA called it an error in imaging data, but deep-sea scanners that week reported something unusual, a faint electromagnetic pulse coming from the same area, repeating every 7 hours, as if something alive was still down there, breathing beneath the waves. Some scientists say it's just a geological phenomenon, a pocket of heat, magnetic pressure. But locals, they tell a different story. They say Hy-Brasil isn't gone. It moves. It waits, appearing only to those who are lost or desperate or seeking answers the ocean doesn't want to give. And maybe that's the real mystery. Maybe the island was never meant to be found, because what lies beneath isn't just an island. It's a memory, a mirror, a secret the Atlantic has guarded for centuries and only reveals when the world is ready to remember it. The ocean never forgets. It holds everything, the wrecks, the whispers, the names that time erased. And somewhere out there, Hy-Brasil still breathes beneath the waves. Every night, when storms roll over the Atlantic, fishermen swear they see a faint golden glow, like lanterns flickering on a distant shore that shouldn't exist. And for a heartbeat, it feels like the island is calling again, reaching through fog and time, daring us to look closer. But maybe some secrets aren't meant to be found. Maybe the island doesn't hide from us. Maybe it protects us. Because what if beneath those waves lies not treasure, but truth? A truth too ancient, too powerful for this world to carry again. So the Atlantic keeps its silence. The sea buries its answers. And Hy-Brasil drifts back into legend, waiting for the next soul brave enough to follow the call of the impossible. Because somewhere beyond the horizon, the island still waits.